guys, Tom from Metalloud, and I'm here today to review the Melanie Martinez debut album, Crybaby.
Round and round like a horse on a carousel.
So Melanie Martinez is probably most famous for being on the show The Voice. I actually discovered her because she did a cover of another artist that I like, Marina and the Diamonds song starring Roll. And from that cover, I pretty much instantly fell in love with her voice, with her attitude, the fact that she did cover Marina and the Diamonds. So I definitely checked out her work, and she had this EP out called the Dollhouse EP. And I pretty much instantly fell in love with that EP. It's poppy in the sense of the music and the vocal arrangements and the instrumentals. However, in tone, it's a very, very dark, sinister album. It deals with issues you're not normally going to find on a pop album. It deals with things like heartache and loss, but more brutally than other pop songs would do. It deals with broken homes and just, unrequited love in just the darkest way possible. And the EP really left me wanting more. I felt like it was a little bit unpolished, needed a little bit producing, but the beats were perfect, the vocal arrangements were great. Her vocals are definitely something that I can see some people may need to get used to. She's got a little bit of a rasp to it at times, especially when she kind of hits those higher notes. It's something that I kind of feel gives her kind of an edge versus other artists out there. She's not this sterile, cookie cutter pop artist. Now, I did like the EP a lot, so I was kind of worried that when she made her actual label debut with this album, it would kind of be toned down. Like somebody producing it would kind of mention to her, hey, you may not want to deal with subjects like this because people may not buy your album, things like that. That was kind of the biggest fear I had going into this, that it wouldn't be as dark as the EP itself. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to look at this and easily dismiss it based on the aesthetic alone. It's kind of looks... the title is Crybaby. It kind of looks babyish. You have song titles like Potato Head and Sippy Cup and things like that, and it's pretty easy to kind of dismiss it as being a kind of childish album. However, it is a extremely mature album. I mean, this is something that is going to kind of fuck you up a little bit listening to it. As I mentioned when I talked about the EP, it deals with a lot of subject matter that's very kind of gruesome in ways. Like they said, one of the kind of common themes is broken homes and cheating and just horrible people. But she does it, and she deals with these subject matters not in a blunt force kind of way. She wraps them in this story and this kind of these metaphors that just paint just vivid imagery in your head, and she's got such a great way of doing that. And all these kind of gruesome and dark subject matters kind of juxtaposed against these kind of upbeat, poppy, hip-hop style beats and instrumental arrangements. On this album, it's kind of hard to put I wouldn't say there's any bad song on this album. There's a few that don't really do much for me, but they're still great songs to listen to. Kind of, I would say the song Alphabet Boy probably doesn't do much for me, as well as the song Pacify Her doesn't really do much for me either. As far as the standout tracks on this album, I'd have to say Carousel, which was actually on the Dollhouse EP, is definitely a standout track, talking about chasing after your love, craziness that love can be. The song Soap, about kind of saying things that you probably shouldn't have said, is just fantastic. Another kind of metaphor. We're all children where we swore or said something we shouldn't have, and our parents would threaten to wash our mouth out with soap. That's kind of what this song kind of deals with. My all-time favorite track off this album has to be the closing track, which is called Mad Hatter, which is kind of just about just kind of being a crazy person in general, which I can very much relate to. I can get a little bit psycho myself sometimes, and I think we all can, and it is something that, people do deal with, and it's, like I said, it's just done in this upbeat kind of way. So in closing, I would say if you're kind of dismissing this album as being something childish, if you haven't heard of Melanie Martinez, this is the perfect time to start. This is a solid, well done, fantastic debut album. As far as debut albums, it probably doesn't get much better than this. She has not lost her edge from that Dollhouse EP continuing on to her. If anything, this album is even more darker than that EP was, and it deals more brutally with these dark subject matters and these deep metaphors that just permeate this album. So I would say if you have any interest in her, if you kind of like poppy, hip-hoppy songs, but you feel like they're kind of too cheesy for you, this is something that you want to take a look at and definitely take a listen to.